Hello, welcome back, and it's great to have Asif Mall with us from Release International. How are you, Asif?
Very good. Good to see you, Kent, as well.
Yeah. Now, Asif, you're based in the UK. I've never been to the UK. One time I'll have to, visit where my convict ancestors came from. But I do sort of hear, through my email and that sort of thing, Christians there say it's really tough being a Christian in the UK, which seems strange. But what do they mean? Or is it true?
There are challenges, obviously, Christians are facing, and obviously you might have heard about certain cases. Cases like a Christian woman who was fired from her job from British Airways simply because she was wearing a cross.
This was against the uniform policy, wasn't it?
Correct.
Yeah.
But you see that there is no inconsistency is the sign of a failed argument, and that's illogical.
Because if I was a Sikh, for example, working for British Airways, and I was wearing a bracelet that's a part of my religion,
correct,
that's fine.
They should respect that. So that's the sort of situation we're talking about. And then we have cases where a Christian couple who were running this bed and breakfast fined by the court simply because they did not allow a unmarried couple to stay in their bed and breakfast because they said that it's against our Christian values, and so that was considered a discrimination. And then there are many comedy programs which are there to ridicule the tenets of Christian faith and Christian practice. Vicar of Dibley, for example, one, and there are others as well.
Yeah, but Asif, I mean, you're from Pakistan originally, and so you know the situation for Christians in Pakistan, for example, a lot better than I do. How can some Christians say we're being persecuted? They're making fun of us on television. I mean, really, is this really persecution, or are Christians just being a bit too sensitive?
Yes, it's a good question. It's not the sort of persecution where you are in the danger of getting killed. Public humiliation and subjecting you to that and on a constant basis in this way, and firing you from your job just because you are wearing a cross and those kind of things, I think they are more of a discrimination, but they are very much at the borderline with discrimination and persecution.
It seems a strange thing because, of course, in the UK, the official state church is the Church of England. The Queen is the head of the Church of England. And nevertheless, Christians are somehow feeling marginalised in that community. It's a strange contradiction.
I think it's because it has ended up becoming a very post-Christian kind of society, and so they will show a lot of sensitivity to other religions. They wouldn't make similar sort of programs about other major religions in the world because they want to be sensitive to and do not want to hurt anybody's feelings. Because
it's a minority group.
Correct. But when it comes to Christians, it's a fair game. So so we are asking is consistency on part of the various broadcasting institutions, and not discriminating this way.
Do you see a solution to these things? I mean, obviously, Christians can complain and say we're not being treated fairly, but is that going to get them very far, or are there actual, workable strategies that can be put into place to basically make the UK a fair society for all religions?
I think that because Christians have always kind of taken it like lying down, as I say. I think that what they need to do is to actually challenge these things, both on the social level, in the parliament, in the courts as well, if necessary. And so there are now a few groups who are doing that. So I think that the Christians need to take the responsibility and be the voice they need to be, because we're supposed to be salt and light. And if the salt does not give us taste, or the light stops its function, and then it has to kind of blame itself and nobody else. And so Christians, the moment they will, I think, start to be more of a salt and light in the society, make their fingerprints and their mark known.
I struggle with what you're saying a little bit, Asif, because I see the example of Jesus as someone who never spoke up to defend himself. He spoke up to defend other people.
Correct.
And when he talked about salt and light, he was talking about doing good works to other people. He wasn't talking about, going to court or going to Parliament to defend, fellow believers. How do you make sense of that?
In terms of turning the other cheek is not taking personal revenge. But if we're both Christians and somebody slaps you and I don't do anything, and that should be an issue of justice for me. I should raise the voice. I should try to stop that person, because on the day of judgment I will be asked, well, he turned the other cheek, but you were there. It was an issue of justice for you, and I'm a God of justice. What did you do there then?
Okay, so how did you step in for your fellow Christian who you saw being persecuted? We have a duty to one another.
Absolutely.
Yeah, wow. Well, that's very thought-provoking. Thanks so much for your time today, Asif.
Most welcome.